Famously in the '09 Grand Final, Dawson's got the job on Podsy Adley. Saturday night football from the MCG.
And it's McAvoy against Ottens to start proceedings. McAvoy got the tap. Running onto it was Schneider. McAvoy, quick hands. Quick hit out of the pack by Del Santo. Josh Hunt has a crack at it. Here's Milne. Nicely controlled and throws it on the boot. Goes for home, but it's wild and woolly. And it's a free kick in the back pocket to Geelong.
Well, this will be interesting with Scarlett playing on Rewalt. You would think Rewalt will play a lot upfield to try to blow Scarlett up as far as the run goes.
Not quite perfect on the exit there from Harry Taylor, and Ling, who looks like Wolsey's got the job on Goddard, is taking the ball over the line and out of bounds.
And look, the theory might be early days to get Rewalt back there with Scarlett, and just because he's so much taller, just use his marking strength.
And Jones has gone to Kelly by the look of it at the front of the pack. Kelly's been a dynamic player for the Cats, so Clint Jones may have him as his target. Farron Ray, pretty slapdash, and the result is it's out on the full. So we'll sort all those matchups out in the next few minutes as the Cats, very close to the man on the mark. Was he over, or Josh Hunt seems a bit perplexed by it all? I think he just got his bearings wrong there, Josh Hunt.
Zach Dawson on Podsy Adley.
McAvoy again got first hand onto it. Here's Wojcinski back in the team. Ball still in play. Ling. Gang tackled by a couple of Saints. When these teams played in round one, it wasn't pretty. Nice. 48-47 was the final score. No goals in the first quarter for Geelong that night, which was most unlike them. In the end, though, they did get home by that 1 point. Cats work it forward now. Here's Podsy Adley on his wrong side. Beautiful handball over the top, though. And lining up for goal is Menzel. Lovely handball from the J-Pod. He was on his wrong side and looped it over to Menzel, who just waltzed into goal to put the first on the board for the Cats.
Yes, and Menzel getting the first goal, and we can see there Scarlett back on Revolt.
Menzel already 13 goals for the year. There's Sam Fisher, also in defence for the Saints tonight. So not in the midfield, Del Santo, who's been a few weeks at half-back, back in the midfield last week, and he started there again tonight. Kazitsky, great gift to Armitage, simply must, and with a bit of help from the bounce, does.
Well, that's a terrific goal. Good answer by the Saints, and Kazitsky being part of it is even more important for St Kilda. And we can see the half volley coming towards Revolt. He attacks it, can't take control of it, and it's really good to see Kazitsky feature in the first goal, do his confidence the world of good, been out of the senior team for a few weeks now.
As we said, Cozzy was the late inclusion for Blake. So all square at one apiece. Razor Ray puts the ball down again. McAvoy v Ottens. And another secondary bounce.
This is interesting quarters. Ling is after Goddard. Goddard playing on a half-back flank, and Ling going back with him. But Ling, I reckon he's saying to his teammates, I need to come up into the middle of the game, middle of the action.
Corey jams it on the left, inside 50. Podsy Adley got thrown out of the way. It ricochets nicely to Armitage. He lost his feet at the crucial moment, and he's got one for high. You heard the explanation from Ray Chamberlain, and free kick going to Armitage at half-back. Oh, it's not a great kick into the corridor. Baker's good enough. Armitage to Fisher.
big blue on in the middle of the ground there.
Stevie Johnson and Dempster.
Yeah, Dempster with Stevie J in a headlock.
Farron Ray's got the football on the other side of the ground. He goes to half forward to McAvoy. He's got loose men on in the middle. One of them is Fisher. Takes the mark and looks to go. High ball. Little nudge out was by Gamble. Got away with it. Now he gathers the football. Punches the handball to Baker. Back to Gamble. The former Cat gives it to Goddard from 50. Clever kick to Armitage. That is an absolute perfect kick from Goddard. Didn't blaze away. And Armitage will line up for his second.
You're spot on, Quarters. Absolutely super kick, hard and low. And you can see the two boys coming off, Dempster and Stevie J, into each other. And I reckon they're exhausted after they've gone about 2 minutes of wrestling in the centre square. They need a spell.
That's the most gut-busting thing you can do on a footy field is wrestle. The old Hawthorn boys playing Essendon, they were always instructed to wrestle Simon Madden at every opportunity to exhaust him. Didn't work often as Armitage kicks the goal. Yeah, it used to kill the Hawks. They said when you get your hands on Simon Madden, just wrestle him and exhaust him. He still is best on ground most times.
This is interesting. We'll have a look at the Goddard kick. Just spears it hard and low, just over the outstretched arms of a Geelong defender. But Milburn's come onto the ground and is playing as a half forward.
All right, Otten's the tap. Johnson had a very brief spell. He's back out in the thick of the action. Otten's involved again. Saints get it moving. That was terrific from Del Santo. Okay, so the umpire deciding that they weren't allowed to take the advantage that time.
They did that today a couple of times too.
Just a slight adjustment, perhaps, the interpretation. Not a rule change, though. Del Santo up to the 50, Gamble in amongst 4 Cats. And he did pretty well. He fought a tough battle on his own, a one-man war. He kept it alive, but Taylor Hunt comes out and gets some help from Stokes in a milestone game off to Mackie. Bangs it in towards Vardy and Dawson. Vardy kept on keeping on, and it proved to his advantage. Off to Pudsey Adley, fresh from 6 last week.
Well, the Pod not all that comfortable on his non-preferred right foot. Nice play by the youngster Vardy.
Well, Gilbert's coughed it straight up to Menzel.
And that's the last thing Ross Lyon wanted Sam Gilbert to do, whose confidence is as fragile as tissue paper at the moment.
That's pretty fragile. Menzel, difficult kick. Oh, he's made a good fist of it. That is right through the middle. Menzel's got 2. Armitage has got 2. Beautiful kick. And that won't do Sam Gilbert's confidence much good. It's just gone down further. Good to see his teammates come around him and pat him on the backside. So forget about it. He doesn't look happy.
And there's Sam Gilbert, and there's the dreadful kick straight down the throat of Menzel. And yeah, he'll have to work his way out of an early hole.
Excellent bounce there. Vardy getting his turn in the ruck. Nice spring and tap, but look at Del Santo go to work for the Saints. Into half-forward Peak. He's playing close to his best footy for the Saints at the moment. Well done from Enright, though. Good, fierce tackling. You'd expect nothing less in a match between these two sides, wrapping it all up. The tackle count early is in St Kilda's favour, 7-1. The early tackles to underline their intensity and the way they're going at it. Vardy down to Ling. His first disposal of the night for Pudsey Adley. He's covered a fair bit of territory as the J-Pod. He just took a moment to linger on the kick because he had nowhere to go. Chapman outnumbered, still made Fisher nervous. Bouncing ball hard to contain from Gwilt, and he knew where the line was, and he found it. Now there's a shove in the back against Menzel.
So Gwilt's got it. right on the goal line.
Early part of the game, but Podsiadly playing up near the wings as a half forward, and Stevie J dropping back inside the forward 50 on Dempster.
His target's McAvoy from the side. The big fist away was from young Nathan Vardy. He's had another big week for a whole lot of different reasons. Bowled the perfect game. 310 pin bowling. That takes some doing. Let me tell you. He's got all the tricks. Back to the football. Saints had possession at half-back. Poor kick. Hunt couldn't take the mark. Swooping is Wojcinski. A long ball into the pocket. Almost a miracle mark to Menzel. Gwilt gets there, holds things up, and we will have a bounce in the Cats' forward pocket.
Lonergan has now moved on to Revolt and Scarlett onto Gamble. And I think that would suit Chris Scott a lot better.
So the Cats and the Saints, both a couple of goals so far. Podsiadly, Varco, who subbed out last week, will be pretty keen for a big one tonight, I suspect.
Varco needs a good game, Hutto. He consistently only gets the 8 or 9 touches. Dawson dispossessed, but he had good backup.
Fisher initially, and then there's Graham. Oh, didn't strike that the way he would have liked. And so it's Josh Hunt on the wrong side for his famous booming left.
Well, Darren Milburn can mark as well as anybody, and he is in the forward line.
I wonder if he can kick it all 50 and just get it to tail back at the very end. He's declared his intentions, Josh Hunt, and few would doubt his ability to make the distance. It won't tail back, though. And that's commanding stuff in the air from the big ruckman McAvoy.
There's two players out there who don't like each other, Dempster and Stevie J, at each other again.
I'm sure if Dempster needs backup, he'll call on Steve Baker too, won't he, from past times?
Steve Baker's on the bench at the moment, itching to get out there.
Peak at half-back. There is Dempster. Gives it off to Gilbert in 2 minds. Now the Saints float it forward. Oh, and that's a lot of luck. More luck than good judgment, and Schneider is well within range.
If you get a mongrel floating punt like that going into your forward line, it's a 50-50 chance. Yep. And very hard to defend that because no one exactly knows where it's going. So good fortune to the Saints there. Gee, some of the St Kilda kicking early has been pretty ordinary. We saw the Graham kick, Stevens turned it over. And we also saw Gilbert give up a goal and then that, but it could turn into a bonus if Schneider goals.
12-7 this year for Adam Schneider, converting at 63%. The runner told to get out of the way. This is St Kilda runner. Oh, hello. So they're turning it over here.
The runner.
Because the runner was in the way. Oh, boy. Schneider having a set shot, and that is a turnover and a free kick to the Cats, Robert Walls.
Yes, and I reckon umpire Ray Chamberlain, who was in control, wasn't right onto that. It was the umpire about 100 metres away who ran in and said, Ray, we've got to change this.
So the Cats take it out wide, and Milburn takes the mark.
Straight onto the phone, that runner, not surprisingly. Straight to the coach, boys.
Jared Jess, I think, is it the runner? Off the top of the head. As the Cats work it back across half-back. Here's Scarlett, bit of hesitation. Good running from behind from Taylor. They dodged the bullet at one end. Would hurt the Saints if they were able to take it all the way. And Zach Dawson read it nicely. Have a look at what happened. Oh, look at that.
See umpire Ray Chamberlain.
So Ray just tells him to get out.
Yeah, so Ray Chamberlain, the umpire who was in control, didn't deem that as being wrong. The right decision was made, but not by Ray.
Back to the wing again. Clever from Taylor. And there was a free, an advantage paid and taken. Stokes, Ottens, it's back to Stokes. Good read on it that time from Gilbert, fighting on and takes the mark. And he can give to Montagna to try and get some run. And dangerously though, and Scarlett's as good at ending it, reading it and intercepting. Not usually inside his forward 50, usually it's defending his goal, but
it was not a good kick by Montagna.
No,
it was too much air time, too much hang time, which gave Scarlett a chance to come in. And there's the kick, popped up too high, not put out towards the line for the St Kilda player to run to it.
So Matthew Scarlett has kicked 17 goals, 22 in his career up until then. And unfortunately for him, it's another behind added to the total.
He won't be happy with that, Hutto. Kicked a goal at Skilled Stadium a couple of weeks ago against the Doggies.
Brought the house down.
Did. Del Santo brings it back in. The big fist came from Ottens. Back of the pack was Schneider. Little dinky handball to Fisher. Down the line to Gamble. Now he's got Revolt on if he can get to him. 50. Well, really, Lonergan really couldn't do much else, and it was a pretty professional free kick in the end. Now, can Geelong rally the troops and get them back inside the defensive 50 in time?
Gee, Revolt's got back, and Joel Corey's covering him.
Gamble. Handballs off to Fisher. Shorts it, and that is another turnover by foot from the Saints.
I reckon we've had half a dozen really disappointing kicks.
There's the 50.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have you got a feel for this game yet, Rob? It's a bit hard to work it out, I reckon, at the moment. Hunt, there's a scrubbing old kick.
St Kilda's effort's been terrific, but their disposal's been ordinary.
That's great delivery from Kelly for Podsy Adley. Couldn't ask for more. Through the middle, Vardy's worked really hard, put the pressure on Dawson, turns early, draws the free. It's pretty elementary when you work it like that, and the young man did extremely well.
And the reason the free kick was paid is because Zach Dawson takes his eyes off the ball. Look at him. He's not looking at the footy. He's not looking at the football. And as soon as he does that, he's a cooked goose.
He's in form, Hutto. This is down the record as a goal. Got his eye in this week.
Of course.
You with me?
I'm with you, yeah.
Ross Lyon would have been talking to the defensive coach.
And he's got the bowling boots on. And he strikes another goal for the Cats. So the margin out to 8 now.
Podsy Adley's a smart player. He knows the long kick into the forward line puts the defenders under pressure. You can see Dawson hasn't got his eyes on the football. And as soon as he does that, he's in real trouble. Vardy does well to get in his path, get grabbed hold of. Given away 16 free kicks this year, Zach.
Vardy into the ruck. Ottens goes to full forward to play on Dawson. Well done by Jack Stephen. Handball to Baker. Geelong players caught one there, and Mackie looks okay. Josh Hunt with his head over the football. Great strength. Beautifully done. Ling to Chapman. Hard one for him to control. Montagna. Gamble coughed it straight up to Scarlett. Bad mistake again. Another disposal error by the Saints. And the Cats make them pay. Kelly to Varco. Long ball again. Ottens is there. Free kick going St Kilda's way. Advantage paid. Fisher to Gwilt. And the Saints in the back pocket.
Goddard, as always, on target with the kick out. So they've managed to escape there, the Saints. But Geelong have got their press in place, and that's going to put the pressure on the kicking skills here of Jack Stephen, who's been terrific with his work since coming into the side on a full-time basis this year. Kicking hasn't always been his great strength, but he got that one okay to Peak. Back to Goddard, free kick. He takes the handball as the advantage. Peak played on without necessarily knowing what was to come. He sorts their way through it by hand. Armitage pumping, took a while to get there for Cozzy. Round the corner, McAvoy in front, hard man to move. And Milburn certainly couldn't. Milne's got back to the square. He decides to go to Revolt. It's usually a pretty safe often. Got through the cracks to Milne, who decides to handball. So does Del Santo. Great tactics. And it's Farron Ray that finishes the job.
Well done, Stephen Milne. Years gone by, he would have tried the low percentage angle kick from the boundary line. And Moore, the team player now. And just a couple of quick handballs, sets it up. Very well constructed goal by the Saints.
Talk about the Saints' disposal by foot, Rob.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise, does it? Kicking efficiency, you can see St Kilda well down. As I said, their effort's first rate. They're trying to play on as much as they can. They've just got to hit targets by foot better.
Graham jams it on the boot to half forward. Picked up by Enright, off to Bartel. Now back to Lonigan. He goes to the wing. On the half volley to Podsiadly.
He's pushing up, isn't he,
Yeah.
Podsiadly? He's well up on the wing. It's interesting. Revolt is now back in near the goal square with Harry Taylor. He started on Scarlett. He did have Lonigan for a while and now Taylor. And I reckon Chris Scott says nobody can run with him all the time, so we'll share it.
Gilbert goes the long option. Kazitsky's got to beat a couple and can't. Easy pickings in the end for Mackie. Gives it to Scarlett. Chips to Enright. Now he again goes a long option. And that's a beautiful kick and an equally spectacular mark by Podsiadly, but he might have taken out a teammate here in Bartel, who looks in a spot of bother. Trainers rush to him. Hope he hasn't been KO'd. Cats have possession. Mackie, a long ball inside 50. Otten's in front. Great spoil by Dawson. Good pick up by the big fella in McAvoy. And again, the Saints out of trouble.
They are, and Bartel's in real trouble. Out on the wing. There he is, attended to by three of the trainers. Not sure he knows where he is.
He's gone.
He looks like he's been knocked out,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Friendly fire from Podsiadly, and he is in all sorts.
A wry smile from Jimmy.
Graham goes up to the wing. There's Podsiadly.
Well, he's playing as a winger, Hutto.
Pokes the pass to Stokes, who takes it. Bounces out of the tackle. Just got it away in time, but it's all to no avail because Saints have got plenty of reinforcements across half back. Bartel tries to convince them that he's okay and starts to get a bit more pace up. Meantime, it's the Saints accelerating through the middle of the ground. Del Santo wasn't perfect at Jones. That'll do. They've got to half forward. They've got to peak. And now the kick into the 50 to Ray. Cats a man down, of course, and it proves costly. And Ray can put them in front.
Oh,
he's
backside into the jaw.
Yeah, his hips got him right across the side of the face there. And it's knocked him silly for a while. He did jog off the last 20 metres, so he's starting to come good, Jimmy Bartel. He's as tough as they come.
It's the double whammy, isn't it? It's the backside into the head and then the head hitting the ground.
So Farron Ray, this would be a terrific little turnaround from the Saints after Geelong looked like it might be starting to get on top. Saints in front.
Two goals to Farron Ray. The Saints in front by 4 points.
Have a look at that, the kicks and handballs. St Kilda handballing a lot. The last month they've handballed a lot more than they have in the earlier part of the season, and there's no doubt that the message is move the ball on as quickly as you can. And I reckon this is good because for a long time we've seen St Kilda sometimes play a brand of football where the ball could have been moved on a lot quicker. They're up and about doing that tonight.
Centre square infringement goes the Cats' way. Chapman Sockers. Picked up though for the Saints by Stephen. Gives it off to Jones, to McAvoy, back to Jones. Baker to Gwilt. Looks for Revolt, but over the top was Taylor. Dishes to Scarlett. Gives it to Ling, puts out the big Don't Argue. Great smother by Graham. Ricochets to Johnson in heavy traffic. Tried to get it to Kelly. Well done, Scarlett. Off to Enright. And he kicks into the middle and it's marked by Johnson.
Good clean stuff. We'll get an update on Bartel in a moment from Howie. But the Cats are advancing again along that southern flank. And Milburn crafting the kick to Mackie. Vardy's back in the square. Menzel's deep as well. Chapman's about 40 out from goal. Station to give them another option. Otten's working into the 50 as well. It's pretty congested. It's just going to pull up a bit short there. And Del Santo did enough to be paid the mark. Howie.
Hutto, Jimmy Bartell went down to the rooms. The doctor came up and said, listen to the football staff, give him 5 minutes, see how he is. And Jimmy Bartell's just come back up on the bench now. He's giving Pods a high five. He's sitting on the bench. He'll have a couple more minutes just to assess him, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's a tough unit if we see Jimmy Bartell back in the game. Thanks, Howie. There's Lonergan with the handball. Corey in a fair bit of trouble. And the Saints' determination reaping more rewards. And Jack Stephen in the front line. Montagna angled the kick. Again, Revolt not quite in the right position, but gee, fought well from behind. And they'll be happy to lock that up just outside the 50. A big win for the Saints there. They lead by 4.
Mark play on percentages, see the Cats doing a lot more than the Saints, but what St Kilda's doing is just getting a lot of handball, chains of handballs that have upset the Cats at the moment.
High ball by Ling is marked by McAvoy, gives it off to Goddard to Fisher, whose target is Revolt. He's got the sit here. Oh, he went hard and high, just couldn't quite hang on to the mark. Taylor got met high. Umpire called play on. Josh Hunt off to Enright, getting plenty of it. Couldn't have done much more here. Nick Revolt really went at it hard. Taylor just managed to chop the arm. Technically, I guess you'd say it's a free kick to Revolt. He chopped the arms, Harry Taylor, but got away with it. Milne down the line. Good shepherd by Milburn allows Taylor to pick up the football. Back to the wing. McAvoy, good mark.
And McAvoy, and now Goddard with a spring in the step, the Saints. Gamble out of the square, Goddard uncertain. You know that Graham will give it all he's got. Goes for Milne. Didn't turn out to be the right execution, even if it was the right option. Still not sure about that. Clint Jones fought for it, got it, and then gave it straight up to Milburn. And the Cats will be pretty tired, but they might decide to push on. No, Mackie decides to wait, and then use Chapman on the way out, and they've worked the loose man out to the outer side.
Nick Revolt's exhausted already, and Harry Taylor's about the same. Both of them really doubled over.
Nick Revolt's yet to touch the ball, Rob.
Well, how many times have we seen it go to him, and it's been a 2 or 3 on 1 against him?
Good mark in front taken by Ottens.
She's playing good football, Brad Ottens. And with Vardy in the team, it means he can spend more time up forward.
Kicks long, his target is Johnson. Forced to fist it away in the end. Well, the Saints, as we expected, are throwing everything at the Cats at the moment. They lead by 4 points. There's Justin Kazitsky
pushing into the forward line.
McAvoy's tap went straight to his opposing number in Ottens. Wojcinski to Kelly. It's all St Kilda deep in defence. And the mark's taken again by Fisher.
Isn't he a master at dropping back and doing that?
That's his 4th mark already in the match. He's had 10 disposals.
If they can free him up, they do, which means that Gwilt and Dawson have to take the tall forwards.
Back to the wing. And it's over the line. It's only a minute and a half to go in this opening turn, and St Kilda have the advantage.
Harry Taylor's just come off. He looks absolutely shot.
No real ruckman there. As ball back to the Cats, to Wojcinski, who kicks it up and down and didn't really go for goal. Uncertain, and not the result he was after, but Geelong have it locked in their forward 50.
And that might be a reason why he's blown up, because he's playing on Revolt, who just covers probably as much ground as any forward in the game.
McAvoy edges his way in front in the ruck contest, trying to get it to Fisher. Geelong locking it up some more. There's Nick up on the half back flank right now.
Lonergan, his opponent, 10 metres behind him.
And here's Del Santo sneaking in, getting out towards the line. Mackie. I'm sure it would have been holding the ball at the boundary line hadn't it been there, but Mackie knew it was. And as a result, we've got a boundary throw in with the Saints still in front by 4 points. Pretty entertaining opening quarter.
Del Santo, 9 possessions, 4 clearances in the game so far. Here's Johnson, tackled by Jones. Stokes in game 100, puts the head down. Got it back to Johnson. Couldn't break all those tackles. Ends up in the hands of Milne. Gives it to Gwilt. To Gamble. Now Fisher again, another uncontested possession. The kick's not good. Another turnover. Mark taken by Hunt. That's a beautiful kick into the corridor. Milburn weighs up the options, gives it off to another Hunt in Taylor, who gives it to Wojcinski. Handball's off to Mackie. Stokes, tough angle, high ball into the goal square from the side. Fisher concedes the behind.
Inside 50, 17-10 in Geelong's favour. So that would give Chris Scott encouragement, but equally it would give the encouragement to the Saints, I guess. They've been able to withstand that and be in front. Wilt's got the footy in the back pocket. As you mentioned, Del Santo with 9 disposals, Fisher with 12, getting plenty of the footy coming out of defence. Revolt the target out there, but McAvoy has become a real contested mark option for him, for the Saints down the line. He's really relished being the #1 man at St Kilda. And the Saints have won the quarter at least. They lead 4 straight to 3-3.
Well, it was an interesting quarter of football. St Kilda certainly tried to move the ball on by handball. They've handballed a lot more than they have kicked. And Ross Lyon would be happy with the tackling count, which is well in St Kilda's favour.
Yeah. So, into the second quarter then, and it's St Kilda by 3 points. Vardy starting in the ruck and gets the tap. Jones onto it, Graham. Saints would take lots of encouragement out of the opening term. Peake's been a good avenue for them. Gamble against his old side, that wasn't well positioned. Hard man to get past is Matthew Scarlett. Gamble got a piece of him there. Scarlett refusing to panic, and Enright's kick takes Duncan into the fray for the first time. The sub just got it over Ray's head to great effect, and now Ling running from Vardy, falling over but getting back up to his feet and driving the Cats forward. Menzel low ball might go all the way. What a kick! That's his 3rd. He is on fire.
Just has really good awareness. Slips before he takes the handball and lets the traffic go past him. We'll see this here. Just sells the dummy to a couple of Saints and then unloads. Knows his talents, knows his abilities, and with a skidding ball at night, that was always a chance to go through. Well, terrific goal by Menzel, who's got 3 of Geelong's 4. But the interesting thing, boys, is who's going to step up. No Joel Selwood out there and no Bartel now. He's been subbed out of the game. Kelly being tagged by Jones. I reckon players like Corey and Ling and Stokes, they have to step up. And Duncan, of course, the boy who's just come on.
Yet another challenge for the Cats. They've answered all of them so far in season 2011. Gwilt to Baker. Now Del Santo had a very good first quarter. Graham in trouble. She's off to Jones. Got a couple of Saints there, not 15. So Del Santo's got to go. Down the line, Mill works his way to the front.
Milne playing on Josh Hunt. You can see the 2 of them there. They've played against each other a dozen times. A lot of respect for each other. I watched them after a game. They play on each other. They're always first to shake each other's hand, have a smile.
Good tap from McAvoy, but Del Santo couldn't escape. Ling, help from Hunt, and Geelong away. Into the spaces, says go fetch. Varco had to wait in the end. Steve Johnson with a bit of a pace up to come through centre half forward. Menzel's the man of the moment. 3 goals to his name. Has a quick glance behind and realised it's going to be tough. Thought he'd go around the line. Kept on playing it. And still, he's still in it, Menzel. Now he's over it. He might be in trouble. He's gone.
Got to admire him, though. That ball looked a certainty to go out. He was able to keep it alive, keep it in play.
And that's when you hate that rule, Rob. The poor bloke, he made all the play and he gets pinged.
He made 25 metres just bashing and crashing the ball forward, and then 3 blokes jump on him.
Can be very unfair, that rule, on occasions. Gwilt, oh, yeah, it's okay. Finds Ray.
Harry Taylor back on Revolt. Lonergan on Kosicki.
Fisher coming up for disposal number 13 already. All of them uncontested. Long ball, big pack fly. Nick Revolt still statless. Not from the lack of trying, by the way. He's blown up a couple of opponents already. Somehow they need to work him into the game. Otten's nice tap to Johnson to Ling. Beautifully done by the Cats. Ling back, Chapman back to Ling rather, who drills it long. Good kick. Stokes being held. Gets the free kick.
Tell you what we've seen, Quarters. How many times has Geelong been prepared to kick long into their forward line, which puts the St Kilda defenders, who are one out, under extreme pressure. No defender likes to be in that situation, and they will give away free kicks. We see Baker give away a free kick here. Takes his eyes off the footy, and Dawson did the same thing in the first quarter.
Matthew Stokes, game 100, right in front, goal. So the opening 2 goals of the second quarter go Geelong's way, and they're in front by 9 points. And there's a replay of the free kick.
Always a magnificent sight looking over the city. Down along the Yarra to the MCG. And these two sides have been in the spotlight so many times over the last 3 or 4 years, and almost always turn it on. It's close again tonight, but Geelong, with a couple of goals, have taken the clear advantage. Out of the middle, Goddard gets it in quickly, but again, Scarlett reading the play, takes the mark well in front of Gamble. And they ease out of defence through Taylor to Menzel. Was it a free kick? No. Worked under the ball well by Gilbert, who recovers nicely. Nabbed by the jumper by Varco. The ball still living under there somewhere. Ottens came to lend some assistance. And we'll have another ball up. Andrew Mackie with 10 disposals, leading the way for the Cats. Scarlett 8 and Taylor 8. So 3 defenders getting the most of the footy for Geelong as Snyder gives Gamble another opportunity. Here's Cozzy. Now Gamble just couldn't put enough space on Scarlett to get a big kick on, but he got enough to get it to Revolt. Just not enough for him to take the mark. And Taylor has Geelong away again. Chapman taking the mark.
Starting to work his way into the game, Paul Chapman needs to lift, as Robert Wall said. There's a couple of big Cats missing now. Selwood out suspended. Bartel subbed at quarter time after being KO'd. Ottens, long ball again inside 50. Good mark. Dawson outpointed Vardy on that occasion.
Right there, James, right there. Play on.
Kicks in the McAvoy direction. Couldn't find him. Gilbert in front. Brought it to ground. Here's Johnson. Marshalling the troops. Gives it off to Enright. Floats one inside 50. Podsiadly. It was a tough one to mark. There's another Cat down hurt. It's Vardy. Jones to Stephen. Now Fisher again for the Saints. And the mark's taken by Peake.
14 disposals for Sam Fisher, so both he and Scarlett having great effect at either end of the ground. This is Peake, just a little bit of hesitation in the kick, and it wasn't perfectly struck, but it's the perfect result. Kosicki desperate to lay it off. Gamble fairly laconically, that's his way to Peake. And then to Jones, getting harder and harder for the Saints in the clinches, but they find an escape route. Out the back, Jones, and now Fisher can launch from the middle. Peake working overtime. Good run out of defence on the wing. It's Varco versus Del Santo. Del Santo into the 50. McAvoy up to meet it. Needed a bounce to accommodate, didn't get it. Varco just edged him out of it. Pretty skillful as it turned out. Otten's pretty dexterous for a big man, and bombs it onto the wing to Stokes. Full of options through the middle. Stevie J's usually a good one. Cute as ever. Into the 50. Ling all ahead of him. Half pass, half shot. Gets the goal he was after. Geelong by 15.
Gee, Hannah, that was pretty slick, wasn't it?
It wasn't bad.
Oh. Just one little mistake by the Saints and bang.
Cats lead by 15 points. James Podsiadly is the human wrecking machine. He's taking out his own players, though. He's taken out Jimmy Bartell. Now he's copped young Nathan Vardy. He was a bit groggy, but he's up and about. But the big Pods is cleaning up his teammates at the moment.
Wasn't it? Was it? No, Hawkins got. Collingwood's
Tuvey.
Yeah.
Kelly works it forward again. The Cats all 3 goals in this second quarter. They lead by 15 points. Johnson's handball went to Fisher. He's coughed it up. Oh, it's a throw. Advantage paid. Gould does the spoiling. Wojcinski back to Podsiadly. It's another one to Geelong. 4 straight goals to the Cats, and they're now in control of this game by 21 points.
Well, put that in your iPod, all right. Criticism about the iPod not playing well away from Skilled Stadium down there. Well, he's turned that around over the last couple of weeks. He's just a natural forward, knows where to go. Good play by the big fella Vardy there. He's been really good for them. He's going to get better and better as the season goes on.
Again, there was advantage taken, wasn't there, when they weren't really...
And the umpires are quick to call it, aren't they, that the player took advantage. I'll tell you who stepped up in this quarter for the Cats in the midfield in the absence of Selwood and Bartell is their skipper. Cam Ling. He's had 5 disposals in the first 8 minutes of this quarter.
So Stephen gets St Kilda going. Deep for Revolt. He brought that down, didn't he? Yes, he did. Bit of hesitation amongst the umpires. It was somewhere in between both of the umpires, but eventually the call was made. So it's taken until now.
I think he's hurt the ankle.
It's taken until 10 minutes into the second quarter for Nick Revolt to get a disposal. Possession as it is at the moment.
Gee, that's a good mark.
He's fearless in the air.
He's hurt himself. He's hurt his ankle, lower leg. You see him when he comes down here. Oh, that could have been really bad.
So let's see how it affects him on the run up and the kick. Yeah, it's working its way back, but never really threatened. So we'll certainly watch with interest how Nick Revolt seems to have recovered pretty well. 7-3-45. St Kilda really needed to add to their 4 goals, and they couldn't do it. There's Taylor taking the mark now for the Cats.
20 points is the margin. Taylor goes the long option, looking for Podsiadly. Boy, is he attacking the ball tonight.
He's just crashed the opposition, which is something he hasn't done earlier in the game.
Here's Ling again, as Rob Wall said, having a great second quarter. That's a good slip sketch taken by Farron Ray on defensive 50.
Just had some disturbing news text through to me, Quarters, regarding the Nathan Vardy bowling expedition. Apparently it was a fake.
Was it?
Well, so I'm told.
So you fall for anything, Quarters.
Well, it was in the papers. They always get it right. We'll have to investigate that further.
You're disturbed by that, aren't you?
Well, it sounded well, it was in the paper. I would assume that it was.
Who plays 10-pin bowling anyway?
It's a great sport.
Quarter's got his own shoes. Puts the talcum powder on it.
Okay, Armitage to the wing. Another turnover. It was a good story anyway. Enright. Looks for Chapman. Oh, big fly. Couldn't hang on to it. And he pushed him out. So there's a free kick going here. It's going to be Geelong. And it's going to Mackie. There's the big fly. And then Mackie got a shove in the back.
Well, halfway through the quarter and the Saints just 1 behind.
Long kick. Setting himself was Ottens. Little toe poke by Graham. Ray. They'll have a bounce just inside the Cats attacking 50. Nick Revolt looks okay. There's Kelly. There's opportunity now for the Saints. Good pick up by Milne. Handballs off to Armitage. He's immediately drilled into the ground. Taken by Stokes. Gives it off to Mackie. In the hole is Gilbert and takes a good mark. Off to Fisher once again, coming up for disposal 16. Not a great one, but it's nevertheless found a teammate. Graham handballs backwards to Gwilt. Gives it back to Graham. And the mark's taken by Fisher. Good mark.
So Fisher again coming in for disposal 17. And he can create havoc for opposition teams. We know that, but Saints struggling to get it much further than that at the moment in this quarter. And there's Kazitsky. With conviction takes the mark.
Well, he's taken a couple of good marks, handballed off both times, but it brings a cheer to the St Kilda supporters.
Del Santo, Lonergan planted himself in front, really made the running there on the outer side. Saints have the numerical advantage back there, and Dawson also had the height advantage in the air, takes the grab. The Saints have got to find a way cleanly forward here. Gilbert can go to McAvoy. It's all taken a little time, which means Geelong can move their troops across the ground and fill some holes further up the ground. McAvoy kicked it well enough, and he finds Snyder at half-back.
Just his third disposal.
Now Graham. It's just a big gap between where they are and finding a link in the chain to get it to the forward line. Corey read it and the misfired kick. Menzel, here's Dawson to try and stop him. Couldn't. He saw some options. He went for broke again. But this time, Gwilt got back there. Didn't quite complete the job. Gilbert ducked the head. I think that's the way the umpires read it now. What's he going to say? You're in trouble. In fact, you are gone. And life not getting any better for Gilbert there in defence. Let's have a look.
Well, it's the right call. He makes no effort to handball the football. He just curls himself up and hopes.
So here's this very Geelong approach to set shots for goal on the angle. They've got it down to a fine art. Stokes kicks the Cats 8.
Yep. Just Daniel Menzel there. Have a look at the way he swings here and hooks the footy around hard and low. Now, OK, goes towards Gwilt, but not many players have got a leg that's as strong as that. And it's lethal because if his teammates get to know how good he can be when he swings around, he can kick on the curve like that so effectively. That'll create lots of goals for Geelong over the years.
Cats by 26 points. Just looking at Montagna's numbers, fellas, only 6 disposals. So he's been shut down.
Schneider just 3 and Rewalt 1.
Goddard the tap, beautifully worked to Del Santo. Kicks in the peak direction. He's nudged out of the ball. There's another crack at it. So does Enright for Geelong. He caught a bit high. Yep, free kick going Geelong's way as Kazitsky and Stokes. Now that's an unfair size advantage. Not all that's going on. Play continues. It's at centre half forward for St Kilda, and boy do they need a goal. Del Santo's played well. Swings onto that familiar left. Gives it back to Goddard. Weighs up the options. Goes for Kazitsky and a terrific mark. He's fired up. He's taken another strong grab and he can have a shot at goal.
That was smart footy, Wolsey, wasn't it? Because there was just so many Geelong players back deep.
Yeah, there were so many. I had a look, Hutto, and there were 3 Geelong players around 1 St Kilda player. That, of course, was Rewalt. But the Goddard kick, hard, spearing drop punt. Very hard for a defender to get a fist on that.
Matthew Stokes giving Justin Kazitsky a lot of advice as he lines up for goal.
All friendly, of course, Stephen.
Boy, do the Saints need this. Right on 50, Justin Kazitsky splays it.
He's taken 3 marks and done a couple of nice little things by hand. Unfortunately, couldn't follow on with the kick that time. And Geelong have a commanding lead of 25 points. Pretty much all achieved in this quarter, but that is un-Corey Enright-like.
Yeah, just the last 3 minutes, Enright's made a couple of mistakes.
Sorry, Rob, this is what started the fight.
Oh, that always hurts. So he's going to strangle the little cat.
Vardy and McAvoy. Jones with a bit of toe. Couldn't get through. Stokes, Chapman hugging the boundary. Fisher looks like he's got this one in control. He has. And he's a master. And again, he comes in for his 18th disposal. He's second, just 2 inside 50 so far. Can he find a man in pretty congested area? Sets it up for Kazitsky and McAvoy. And McAvoy did everything but bring it down. Ray tries to get Jones. Nothing doing.
James Kelly coming off, Hutto. I reckon he rolled an ankle in that marking contest with Fisher.
So the casualty is starting to mount for the Cats, even though they lead by more than 4 goals.
Joel Corey in there. He got legs. No. Free kick going the other way. Going to Farron Ray for a throw, was it? Whatever it was for, St Kilda had possession.
The free was against Joel Corey.
Okay. Must have been for a throw, I think.
No, it
so
was a throw, yep.
Ray into the pocket. Good mark, Enright. Strong stuff.
Courage.
Sure was.
Stood his ground, knew they were coming.
Goes long. Saints have a couple of extra players here. Setting himself was Dawson. Couldn't take the mark. He's Chapman. To Stokes. To Corey. Good tackle, Gilbert. Chapman. Back to Stokes again. Went without it.
It's good pressure applied by St Kilda. Struggling to get it out of their back line, Geelong.
Chapman has another crack. Back to Stokes. Now Duncan. Over to Corey. And they've finally got out of there, the Cats. Duncan. No one to kick to, so he just goes for distance. And guess who's back there? S. Fisher for number 19.
More short stuff off half-back for St Kilda. Farron Ray for Stephen, just behind the middle. He decides to press go. Accelerates now. Milne's a long target. He just couldn't get himself into the clear, unfortunately, and get it down there deep enough. The Saints were well and truly on. Jones doesn't want it to leave, and he's going to be rewarded here. Well done, Clint Jones. Wins the free, and Chapman better be careful. He was on the edge there of maybe giving away 50. Kazitsky is the deep target. Both Revolt and Goddard are off the ground at the moment. High up and under, so Kazitsky has to be the man. And maybe it's Stephen that can break the stranglehold. Lovely kick. He's becoming quite a player.
Well, the little bloke put himself in the right spot. And that was in the front of this pack. Big pack mark. Goes to the front and unguarded. Finishes off, which is more importantly for St Kilda's first goal of this second term.
Saints get a much-needed goal, their first of the quarter. James Kelly, about a couple of minutes ago, you can see there just rolling his ankle over. Right there underneath himself, the right ankle. He's come off the ground. They're now re-strapping that ankle. Nick Riewoldt back on the ground, Cozzy off.
Chapman in the middle. Another throw.
He's going to be angry, Chappie.
Yeah. So Saints going to attack again. Goddard, a raking kick looking for Revolt. Peak! Peak takes the mark. 50 out from goal.
And Schneider in real trouble. Just don't know if he'll get the distance.
Brett Peak from right on 50. Gives it everything into the goal square. Oh, Milne's lurking. McAvoy, Gamble, duck the head.
Ray's decided to give him a free.
So Ryan Gamble has got the free. The former Cat who played 24 games down at Cardinia Park. Hits the stick.
So 3 even goals. The Saints, who had 30-minute gap between their 4th and 5th goal. Wouldn't they dearly love to nab at least one more? I think he's walked out of the square. So you can feel a bit of the intensity lifting here from the St Kilda fans. They're trying to get their team back into the game. Let's have a look at this one.
Yeah, yep. And he's over it by about a centimetre, and Razor Ray right onto it. He doesn't miss a trick,
he
right?
Just dreams about that sort of stuff, Rob.
Well, you're onto him. You've got rid of Simon Overland. Now you're after Razor Ray.
Yeah, is he going to bounce it? That's the biggest worry that he's got as an umpire. He can't bounce it very high. Not good enough,
it's a bit
right?
wobbly. And Chapman decides not to concede the behind. Might want to change his mind if he had the chance, or maybe not. Maybe the Cats can get the flow going. Digging it out and getting it moving was Wojcinski. Anyone's footy in the middle. Gilbert had a quick glance, and he found his teammate in Peak and kept on coming for a second helping. Delivers perfectly for Del Santo. He had an option along the line, and Jack Stephen decided not to go for him. Devoid of genuine targets just for the moment.
Just getting their tail up, the Saints.
He's going to have to go along to McAvoy here. Revolt's not in the picture. And there's plenty of Cats there. There's a push.
Yeah, Ray's onto it.
Gee, interesting. Go look at that one again. It's coming to Ben McAvoy. What do we think about that, Rob?
Oh, gee, a gentle nudge. You'd see it not paid more times than not.
You were saying it was before the ball came. McAvoy hasn't made him pay the price. And the margin is 17, and it could be a little smaller if the Saints have been able to maximise the fact that they've really owned the footy for most of the last 8 or 9 minutes.
Well, the inside 50s are evening up somewhat. It's Geelong 28, St Kilda now 20. Well done, McAvoy, who knock it away from Otten. So throw in Saints half-forward line.
So Kelly's still on the bench down there, Howie. I take it.
Indeed, he is, Hutto.
Otten's worked his way to the front. Shark, though, by Peak. Doesn't want to kick on the left. Now just handballs, and in the end it came off pretty well. Gives it to Jones. Centering kick. Revolt underneath it. Now there's an opportunity for Revolt again. Needs the kind bounce. Gives it off to Stephen. Harassed by Scarlett. Ball comes out to Varco. Again, been pretty quiet. Backs himself here, though. Takes on Peak. Has a bounce. Has another one. Then loses the pill. Gets it again. Gives it off to Johnson. Beautiful kick to Ling, who can have a shot from here. At least he split it open, Travis Varco.
Yeah. And Ling, that was just good composure.
Gives the handball to Chapman from Ling. Chapman loads up from a long way out. It is a goal.
That's a heartbreaker, isn't it? But Ling and Chapman have been fantastic in this second quarter, particularly the captain. Stevie J's composure, all that frantic work in the middle of the ground when Travis Varco ran and bounced and carried, and it was a really good chase by Peak. A really good chase. Just gets in there, causes him to lose the footy. But this is the kick that just said, OK, let's settle things down.
And then off to Chapman. He banged it home.
Well, tough one to take for the Saints after they'd been playing much better footy.
Well, they had, Hutto, and it's hard to believe that in this quarter, Geelong's kicked 6 goals and St Kilda just the 1.
Kosicki follow-up work was pretty good, but couldn't get it away from Duncan. Jones. And they're out. Go Chase. Hunt. Milne. Goddard.
Gee, there's another cat down.
Duncan's hurt, Rob, right in the centre circle.
And they're all.
Oh, he's got the staggers. Duncan's out of it.
He's in real trouble.
He's gone.
He was wrapped up in a tough tackle by Kosicki, Mitch Duncan.
Oh, that's outstanding work from Steve Johnson. Takes it over the boundary line and out of bounds. But
did you see it, Howie?
Yeah, it was a fair tackle. Cosy just wrapped him up in the middle of the ground. You'll see it now, and down he goes and whacks his head.
Yep.
Well, that's where the old head hits the deck. And Cozzy could be in trouble.
But he had the ball, Rob.
I know, but we've seen other players. I don't think he should be quarters, but we've seen other players suspended for that.
There's another big tackle there, Kosicki on Cameron Ling.
Just at his feet's fine.
Let's have another look at it.
Thank you.
You can't suspend a bloke for that.
He shouldn't be suspended. But Jack Trengove got suspended, the Melbourne
the ball
player.
came loose in that case.
He didn't have the ball at least. I mean, I didn't agree with that one either, but ball's in play. Anyway, something to debate about for the rest of the night. Wojcinski kicks to the wing, and a good mark taken by Mackie.
And hard running from Joel Corey here to be an option just outside the 50. Barty and Podsiadly are deep as well. Get it in, put the defenders under all sorts of pressure. Both of them got a piece of it. You see Nick Revolt getting back to help out, and all hands on deck in the last 30 seconds here for the Saints. They can't afford to give up another goal. Whoa.
He's in Gaga land, isn't he?
So, Kosicki, back of the pack. Gwilt decides to give to Goddard. Handball out to Graham. He came with some instructions to take it even further wide for Peake, but sneaking in was Wojcinski for the Cats. His 10th disposal coming up.
Otten's saying, kick it to me, kick it long.
And he completely ignores that.
Yeah, well, they've got two big blokes down in the goal square, and time's running out.
But they'll take that as a second quarter, the Cats. Commanding effort. Howie, Mitch Duncan looks okay from what we can see.
Indeed, he's come off in the hands of the trainers. He was wobbly though, Mitch Duncan. They've already lost Jimmy Bartell, the Cats. He's been out concussed, hit by his own player, James Podsiadly. Now it is Mitch Duncan. He's been having a chat to the doctors. Hopefully he's okay. They could be down on midfielders though, the Cats, but they take in a handy lead. They lead the Saints by 23 points half-time at the MCG.
All right, so the early stages of the third quarter will be very, very important for St Kilda's stocks in this match. McAvoy, Stephen, Kelly charging through. Hunt loves to run and gun with the footy. Can't escape here. Had a fair crack at it. Kelly puts it out for Stokes to chase after, which he's happy to do, but he just left it behind for Fisher, who's been prolific tonight again off halfback. Del Santo, into the space goes Ray. Again, not too clean though. Gilbert. Oh, Baker, and they've just got out the other side. Stephen and McAvoy, they're charging. And this time Gamble's just got away from Scarlett. And off to Peake. There's been a good component, important component in St Kilda's moves forward. And Revolt's taken the mark. Maybe just beyond him here.
I reckon we saw 10 handballs and one kick there by the Saints, but it was just a swarm of players pushing forward. And their tackling has been really effective in this game. Just haven't been able to get goals on the board. No goals from Rewalt, Schneider or Milne.
Well, that could change here. It'll take his best effort from Revolt. It's very good, just not quite there. McAvoy with the acrobatics. And they're behind, and the margin is now 22 at the start of this third quarter.
Josh Hunt to do the kicking in. It's Corey and Wright. Corey switches. It's a beautiful kick to marks taken by Menzel, who's got 3 goals next to his name. Kicks in the Vardy direction, and he just stepped over the line.
Stevie Johnson playing deep forward, yet to kick a goal. Dempster done a very good job in that first half.
Just 10 disposals for Johnson.
Chapman to Kelly to Ling. Menzel again. That's a beautiful handball to Stokes. Off to Corey. He's got Mackie there. So is Johnson. Dempster, the big puncher away. Corey again. Back to Menzel. Back into the pocket it goes. Saints defenders under pressure, and Dempster's up to the challenge again as he knocks it over the line.
So Cats put the troops out, try and lock it in the 50. Podsiadly away to the left. Space in front of him. There's Dawson improvising in the ruck and gaining some territory for the Saints.
Gee, they've got a strong forward press here, the Cats. Just about all of their players are down in that one half of the ground.
Revolt waiting on the wing if the Saints can get a bit of a break. McAvoy, Del Santo doing their best to try and get out of there. Del Santo, 17 disposals so far tonight. Unfortunately, though, his efficiency is just at 53%. Marty has Goddard been the third man up a lot tonight. Corey hoiking it wide and out of bounds on the full.
He's been a wonderful player for Geelong for a long, long time, Joel Corey. Just reckon he might be one who age is catching up a little bit, and I'm sure that Chris Scott will give him time off between now and the finals. He's done that with a lot of his older players.
Here he is again. Handball, though, went straight to Jones. He couldn't find Farron Ray.
Well, Kelly's out there, and that ankle looks as if he's fine.
One indicator for the Saints has often been contested possessions. They're in front in this only for the second time this year. It's been a weakness of them this year that used to be one of their great strengths. They've only, I think, won the count. This is only the second time.
Yeah, they're ranked 15 in the competition for contested possessions, which is very un-St Kilda-like.
You couldn't fault St Kilda's effort tonight. It's just the finishing off. Once they get it past the midfield, they struggle to get goals.
Free kick to Taylor Hunt for a high tackle. Shorts it to Ling. Who really lifted in that second quarter. Another long ball. Deep into attack. Podsiadly sets himself front and centre with Stokes to Podsiadly. Kicks the ball over the shoulder. Gets it behind for his efforts.
So Gwilt has the onus on him to bring it back. He was going to go short to Goddard. Goes longer in the end. Kazitsky, hopefully he's out. There's a bit of body work. Illegal by Lonigan. And Kazitsky just engaged the fraction early. Delicate passes all right to Jack Stephen. And they've got beyond half back and up to half forward now. And underneath the ball was Hunt. So it's all there for Armitage. Just got out of his reach. And unfortunately for both he and Gamble, who was loose in the pocket, it came undone. Margin back at 23, 5 minutes done in this third quarter.
50 out from the Saints goal. Here's Goddard. Gave it straight up to Corey, who with great strength busted the tackle. Kick's not all that flash, but it comes off. Ling. Podsiadly kicks to Ottens. No one home for Geelong, so he's just going to have to hold it up here. Now he dishes off to Johnson. What magic can he work? He kicks into the pocket. Chapman went up with the one mitt. Gilbert, oh, it's a dodgy old handball. Socket off the ground by Podsiadly across the face. No mark. Here's Menzel. Vardy. Gang tackled by a couple of Saints. Released the ball almost in rugby union fashion. And we'll have a bounce.
Good news for the Cats quarters. Mitch Duncan's just made his way onto the ground. Good to see.
Was that a mark or a free kick indeed?
Blood rule.
Chopped the arms, didn't he, in the end, to get it out of the...
Travis Varco, right of picture. Just the 3 disposals. And his spot in the team is in jeopardy. Last week, just 8. What he does, you notice, because he's so quick, but just doesn't get enough of the ball.
He subbed out last week. As McAvoy winds his way off the ground. So his replacement, Jack Stephen. And the margin stands at 23. With Geelong circling here. But the Saints and Cats can get their structures in place from that blood rule. The ruckman, a bit of a cuddle to each other, and it came loose to Farron Ray. Taylor Hunt had something to say, and they get it over and out again.
Well, at this boundary throw-in, the Cats have got 14 players inside their forward 50. There are just 4 outside.
Very tough call there on Ling. As the Saints come away to the wing. Mark taken by Schneider, who wants to go. He's been called. And fair enough too. And that is a bounce. Ball up centre wing. Crowd getting into the contest too. Kosicki got the tap. Ray had the ball pinned to his chest.
Good tackle by Ottens, the ruckman.
How's that tackle count looking, Anthony?
40 to St Kilda, 23 to Geelong.
Ottens, nice tap.
And it's pretty much one-on-one all over the ground. Neither team has a spare man in defence. And that's important for St Kilda not to have Scarlett free back there.
Del Santo only as far as Enright, who's had a great game across half-back. Very rarely puts in a bad one. Oh, Varco won't be happy with that. Ball spills to Jones. Off to Del Santo. To Montagna. Kicks into the pocket. Big fist away again from Enright. Here's Milburn. Off to Taylor. 2-on-1 here in favour of the Saints. Should win out. Goddard. Great stuff from Chapman. But Saints do have the numbers, and it'll handle over the top from Gilbert.
And now it's Farron Ray with the job of kicking it into the 50. Just a bit of overkill there out on the full. And Ross Lyon, you can feel the frustration. And Geelong can take it all the way along this members wing. Varco to Joel Corey. Kelly's on the 50. Took a long time to release it and gave the St Kilda defenders a chance. Kelly came looking for the free, perhaps. Podsiadly decided to wait, and he got it out to Kelly. Steaming through Kelly. Just couldn't get enough. Oh, he did. That was unbelievable kick. And Taylor Hunt, who's like a wind-up toy, wants to go and does, and kicks it in to Stokes, who takes the mark, and he'll go back in his 100th to have the shot.
Well, they haven't taken many marks in their forward 50, Geelong, and Pod hasn't taken any. A couple of good repeat efforts there by Kelly, and the kick was just superb.
So Stokes, who, as we said, playing game number 100, has had his turbulent issues both on and off the field a little along the way. But it's a big game for him. He's in good form this year. That's not a great kick. Hangs out to the left. And the margin is 24.
Wilt short to Del Santo, who's got Schneider on again, and not a great kick from Del Santo. Geez, turned it over, picked up by Vardy. His kick smothered. Oh, high tackle going to Kelly against Gilbert. Bit lucky there. So he's told to play on, and he just pops it up into the hot spot. Stokes flew, fisted away by Fisher. Stokes has another go. Graham taps to Del Santo. Decides to handball now. Off to Goddard. To Schneider. Kicks to the winger. Rewalt's got a one-on-one. But Lonergan just smacks it over the line for a throw-in.
Well, Nick Rewalt, 4 disposals for the game. St Kilda's kicked 1 goal in the last 50 minutes. You've got to get the big fella into the play a bit more. Give him a run on the ball, even if it's as a ruck rover.
That was slick stuff by St Kilda. Stephen, they can work this loose man. Gets it back. Still in a confined area, though. Tough for Rewalt. Hard-working area. Stephen goes again. He's relentless with his effort. You know that. Won't die wondering. He's over the footy now. It's come back out, and it's going to be a ball up. So St Kilda at least have got it into their 50, and they can try and hold it in. Geelong weren't able to execute properly and score a goal. So St Kilda get their opportunity now. Rewalt being watched very eagerly by Lonergan just off the ball. Circling around here. Kelly left it behind, then went and got it again. Staggered to his feet and got the clearing kick. Podsiadly and Gwilt. Okay, so free to Gwilt. You heard the call. He runs the arc and then angles the kick into the pocket. Sets up for Kosicki, and the big man drags it down.
He's taken a few nice marks tonight, Hutto. Boy, do they need this, a reward for the effort that they've put in.
Just fell for him beautifully, and he's looked likely to hang on to the marks tonight, hasn't he? He's really attacked them with great confidence. Just hasn't had that many opportunities, unfortunately. Hasn't kicked a goal, though, tonight. Only 2 goals for the year. This is his 5th game for the season. It's through. And that is the bottom line. It's through, and the Saints are in it.
Robbie hasn't been dominant, Justin Kosicki, but I've got to say this is the best game I've seen him play for quite some time.
Yes, he's moving into the ball really well. Arms at full stretch. One grab, just clunking it. These are really good signs for St Kilda supporters. And there's no doubt Nick Riewoldt loves having him play in the forward line alongside him.
Kosicki, the late inclusion tonight for Blake. And he's grabbed his opportunity with both hands.
Well, they get the next goal, the Saints. They're right in it. Geelong yet to score a goal in this 3rd term.
Vardy against McAvoy. McAvoy, the tap went to Stokes. Wrapped up by Schneider. Leading possession getters for St Kilda, 22 to Del Santo, 21 to Fisher, 20 to Jones for the Cats, 18 each to Corey and Stokes. Here's Vardy.
James Kelly at full forward for Geelong. They're limited a bit with their interchanges and rotations, and I think that Chris Scott's saying to some of his midfielders, go and have your breather by standing very close to the goal umpire. We see Varco on the phone, and there's a young man who's out of touch and confidence at the moment.
So it's not going anywhere at the moment, is it? Bit of a stalemate, but as Woolsey said, another goal here for St Kilda would change the scenario. Montagna still probably not at 100% after missing a week with injury. Got them inside. Riewoldt just somehow to Armitage. No one back in the square. There's plenty where it's going to land, though. And Geelong had that contained, although it came into the space. Peake, Schneider. I'm not certain what he was trying to do there. Whatever it was, obviously didn't come off. Gamble got a bit of heat from his former teammates, and it's over and out.
Raf Clark, substitute for St Kilda.
Well, he's circling again here, the Saints small men. McAvoy tries to do it on his own. Let's see what the umpire thinks of this. It's another baller.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ben. Ben.
Down on the bench, looks like Montagna is getting handed the red vest. Don't reckon he's 100%. Montagna had a knee issue a couple of weeks ago. He's subbed out of the game.
Just 9 disposals for Lee Montagna. And he's done for the night. At the back of the pack is Milburn. Good handball to Wajinski, to Stokes. Enright again, having a good 3rd quarter. Kicks in the Podsiadly direction. Slaps it forward. Gwilt. And he finds McAvoy. Just watching Varco. Robbie just cannot get into the game.
Yeah, I'd be putting it towards Kosicki.
He does just that. Oh, he got pushed over. And now's a free kick, and it's going Geelong's way. And it's going to be taken by Stokes, I think.
St Kilda supporters not happy.
No,
they reckon Cossie could have got a free there.
Just an accidental tangle of feet.
Did he trip up himself? Because he can do that.
Mackie's got the free. Just got his leg tangled with Scala. Completely accidental. Saints win back possession. Schneider. Gilbert. Back to Schneider. Long ball. Gamble sets himself from behind. He's got it. Beautiful mark from Ryan Gamble. And this, if he converts, will make it just a 12-point ball game.
2 more metres. 2 more metres. Thank you.
And he had plenty of time to think about it. Ryan Gamble set himself for the mark and took a beauty. And he kicks truly, 2 goals in it. Well, makes things interesting.
Confidence is rising with the St Kilda players, particularly with their handball and share. Well, Ryan Gamble's kicked the goal. This is the interesting one, though. Have a look at St Kilda's kicks and handballs in this quarter. There is no doubt that the message is just run and share the ball by hand. Try to run the cats off their legs, and they're succeeding in this term with 2 goals to none.
It's definitely been part of their mantra in the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think they're second for handballs over that period. So it has been a change up for the Saints, who are within striking distance now, just 2 goals away. The plot thickens here at the MCG. Del Santo has been a hard man to contain. Corey, terrific out to Hunt. High ball, long time for both the forwards and the defenders to react. Came down for Kelly, cleverly across the body. Goddard's got that covered, though. And escorts it through for a behind. Geelong leading by 13 now.
Just wonder whether Goddard could have marked that ball.
Cats are goalless in this 3rd quarter. The Saints have kicked a couple. Gwilt short to Milne. Coming up for his 7th disposal. Been pretty quiet. And his kick finds Peake. Peake up for disposal number 18. So he's been lively as he kicks to Armitage. He booted a couple of goals in the 1st quarter. Kazitsky from the side.
And Nick Riewoldt screaming abuse at Armitage for not kicking the ball a little bit more into the corridor.
So the crowd again trying to urge on their St Kilda heroes. Steve Johnson tries to get it to Taylor Hunt. And he attracts a pretty sizable crowd, and we'll have a ball up. And again, tempers just flaring slightly. There's so much history between these two sides. We could be headed for another close one.
It's interesting, Hutto. Kelly is still playing deep at full forward, and he's on Ref Clark.
Brilliant from McAvoy, and Ray up over the top as well to help. Del Santo's kick, though, comes to a dead end. Scarlett had to be absolutely pinpoint with the kick. Oh, Duncan shouldn't have gone. He knows that now, and so do the Saints. Ray, Peake, got Riewoldt long, Cozzy on the other side. Armitage are outnumbering him here, the Saints. There's a gentle push in the back, wasn't it, from Scarlett?
Well, I'd like to see a replay of that, but umpire Troy Pennell was in perfect position.
Yeah, he looked like it from here.
Well, remember that dramatic final last year with the free kick paid when Ling
kicked the goal.
Thought he had kicked the goal, but it was a pay to push in the back that night against Cam Mooney.
Chapman goes long. There is Kelly, tackled by Clark. McAvoy, Goddard, Jones. Threaded his way through. Now Goddard. Saints getting plenty of possession at the moment. To Graham. Long ball. Milne's underneath it. Let's have a look at this one with the Scarlett v. Kazitsky. Well, you've seen that paid many times. What more can you say? McAvoy the tap. Milburn.
Varco just doesn't go hard enough. That was a terrible effort by Varco.
Really struggling. Into the pocket. Riewoldt. No mark. Ball still in play. Wojcinski.
He goes for Duncan down the corridor. Geelong have no next option, though. Chapman suddenly realises that and plays it out wide. Uses Mackie. Next up, He could have gone short along the wing. He knows that now and goes to that man. That was Menzel. Where to from here? So the catch really on the back foot. No goals scored in this third quarter. And up to half forward goes the kick. Target Ottens and Podsiadly. Well roved by Corey. Really stretching the handball for Stokes. And it gave Baker ample time to cover him, which he did effectively. And it's over and out. St Kilda fans a bit disgruntled with some of the near free kicks that haven't been paid. Margin is 13.
Chapman wrapped up by Del Santo. A bounce just outside Geelong's attacking 50. Just the 5 disposals for Travis Varco. Graham, tackled by Ling, releases the ball. And it's a high tackle and a free kick going the Saints' way. And it's going to be taken. Oh, Chapman's put down Goddard. Things getting a bit feisty out there. Oh, kick to Baker. Oh, didn't hang on to it long enough, said the umpire. Kelly, good tackle by Baker. That was a great comeback. Now Goddard into space. Ball in dispute. Wojcinski goes hard at it. So did Dawson. Oh, this is good stuff now. Cat's being challenged. Duncan pops it inside 50. Great mark, Stephen Baker. Cut it off the boot. Play-on's the call. Fisher knocked it out. Taken by Graham, off to Baker. Now Farron Ray.
The crowd don't realise the ball was touched.
It was called that off the boot. You heard it through the mics. Ray storming out of defence. Saints really up and going at the moment. Scarlett there to chop it off. Doing what Scarlett's done for years. Up to Mackie as the Cats try and steady. Through the middle to Chapman. He can give the handball instantly. No, decides to be a little more patient. Finds a better option. Harry Taylor to launch. He too took some pace off. Taylor Hunt, he always goes. He does again. The give was good to Duncan. Shuffles it. Decides to go solo. Pretty good decision that. Cats get a steadier from Mitch Duncan.
Well, the crowd going off their heads, St Kilda supporters, they reckon they've been given a raw deal, particularly with the Baker mark, but it was definitely touched.
That was earlier in the night when Mitch Duncan got the staggers. And how about this for a fantastic finish? So he obviously was okay to come back on. And boy, I bet you glad the Cats fans are glad that he did, because that was a crucial goal in the context of this match. Back out to 19 points in Geelong's favour.
And Chris Scott has put Vardy, the ruckman, as a spare man in defence. Interesting move, this.
Turnover. Armitage, though, turned it straight back to Johnson. Kicks to Mackie, kept his feet, knocked it forward. Bit of soccer played by Johnson, taken by Baker though for St Kilda. And here they go. On the rebound, Milne breaks the tackle, has one bounce, weighs up the options, kicks to Revolt. He's overcooked the kick. Oh, sheer frustration for Revolt, and a mark to Taylor,
who kicks out to the wing, and he's got Milburn on here. Cats can run, and Milburn was going to handball. And he still wants to give, and he fooled most and eventually laid it off to Duncan. Slicing ball, Podsiadly squeezed in the middle there, and it's over and out.
And St Kilda's supporters not happy, Hunter. One of the reasons they thought this was a mark, it was touched off the boot there, and of course it was marked further down by Stevie Baker. Umpire said play on. St Kilda supporters didn't realise that. Ball rebounds, becomes a Geelong goal, so they're hostile.
And they're inside the 50 here, Geelong. Varco, deft touch. Kelly found a way to get it onto the boot, but as you can see, not enough on. Fisher saving the day one more time, but a little quieter in this quarter. Still 23 for the night, though, has been outstanding. Clint Jones also had a lot of it. 7 kicks and 16 handballs, and that's not his best moment. Mackie intercepting. Still that kick or so and a half out from goal.
Be heartbreaking for the Saints if Geelong can kick another goal, because they've had a lot of control in this term.
Mackie not convinced about what he saw on offer. All the tall timbers down there. Unrealistic, was it, from Menzel, or is it an arm chop? It's an arm chop. It's a Geelong free. Oh, listen to the Saints fans now when they realise this.
Don't walk towards the fence, umpire Ray.
No. Let's have a look. Oh, there, it's Podsy Adley.
That's a great decision by Razor.
Yep.
Well, he doesn't miss much quarters. Actually, Pods has got hold of Gilbert's jumper.
Yeah, that was a bit more subtle, though.
So Podsy from 6 last week. And he's done enough. He's hooked it through. Second goal for James Podsy Adley. And Geelong lead by 25.
Well, let's have a look at it. The arm's held there, and Pod's also holding Gwilt's jumper.
Which comes first there, Rob?
Yeah, I know. It's an interesting one, isn't it? The umpire's made it. There are 2 free kicks there, if you like.
Chapman took him on. Should he penalised? No. Jones has had a magnificent game for St Kilda. Now handball comes out to Stephen. Looks for revolt. Picked up by Josh Hunt. Good handball to Varco. Puts the foot on the accelerator. Has a bounce. Kicks to the 50. No mark Gwilt. Gilbert. Had to get rid of it. Now Dawson. Handballs to Baker. Gives it to Gilbert. Off to Ray. In the last minute of this third quarter. Geelong has answered the challenge well. Gwilt. Penetrating kick towards Del Santo. One-on-one with Mackie. Now ball stays in. Armitage.
Well, they're not happy, St Kilda supporters, Hutto. And have a look at this young girl. She's had a gut full of Razor Ray.
Oh! Feisty redhead.
Yes, no comment about that. Here's the ball out in the wing. Jones. Duncan, there's another redhead in Cameron Ling. They all appeal for a throw, and they get the response they're after. So it's Ling's free. Short ball for Chapman. And the siren sounds to end a very eventful quarter. One in which he's going to have a shot, is he, Chappie? No, even he can't think about that. One in which the Saints fans are obviously voicing their displeasure about the treatment. Well, there's a Geelong player down, but I think that's all okay. It's a bit of a scrap, actually, building out there. Whoa! Armitage fires up. Steve Johnson and Baker. A couple of old combatants. Things just getting a little bit heated at the MCG. Gwilt a bit upset now. Steve Johnson the target of a few more. And they settle the feathers just before the last break here. Geelong lead by 25, but don't go anywhere if that's any indication of the scrap that's about to come your way on Saturday night footy.
Nick Riewoldt on the wing. I like it.
Start the final term. It's the Cats with a very handy 25-point lead to continue their incredible winning streak in 2011. They've won 11 in a row. Gwilt to Gilbert. Forced to release hurriedly. Riewoldt attacks it. Good tackle by Menzel.
So with Riewoldt on the wing, they're virtually playing with a 5-man forward line. Kosicki, the big fella. Then there's Milne, Gamble, Armitage and Schneider.
McAvoy the tap. Chapman off to Corey. Into the pocket. Podsiadly went down off the ball against Dawson. Picked up by Goddard to Gwilts. And he stepped over the line.
Might get a touch slippery out there now, boys. It's been raining for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
What would you say the skid factor was, Howie?
2.4 out of 10, Wolsey.
Thank you, Harry. Dempster battered away. Joel Corey somehow found Steve Johnson. Chapman, instant kick, gets another go at it. It was a hurried handball, went straight to Armitage, who just shovels it back to the wing. Lonigan couldn't quite keep his feet back with the flight. Opens the door for the Saints, and it gets shut. Kazitsky in the back, though. So here's a real opportunity. Milne's loose at centre-half forward. If he can just get up and spot him. He instead goes across to Raf Clark, the sub, who can give to Revolt. Oh, it wasn't a great give, though, was it? Revolt's still going to be able to kick them in, and wide to Peake, who could go short to a number of players. And he decides gamble, it wasn't far enough. Peake will have to have the shot after all. This time on the run. It's not bad. That is just the spark the Saints need. And Chris Scott is seething.
Yes, and Nick Revolt features in the play because he's not running towards the football. He's able to run in the direction of the ball because he's playing on the wing.
Brett Peake keeps the Saints in it. He's had a pretty good night. 21 disposals, 8 marks.
And again, Revolt starting on the wing, as we can see in picture, and he featured in that goal, part of the goal chain.
Hacked out of mid-air by Joel Corey, inside Geelong's 50. Duncan overran it, so did Fisher. Here's Varco. Taylor Hunt, back to Duncan, throw, free kick to Jones. And Jones has had a ripping night. He has had 25 disposals, 8 tackles and 9 clearances. Clint Jones, that is some sort of night. Diving attempt by Kazitsky is unsuccessful. A throw in on centre wing.
And whilst Revolt's playing on the wing, his opponent is Mackie. Doing a bit of ruck work.
Not sure we'd like to see that, Rob.
I don't mind the boundary throw in. I'd hate to see him in at a centre bounce.
Chapman, good tackle by Del Santo. Umpires penalised him. So the Saints having a real crack early in this final term. Their deficit is still 19 points. Del Santo drills it long. And an easy mark taken by Enright. That was an anticlimactic finish.
Still a lot of experience, isn't there, in their defence, the Cats. Missing some of their prime midfielders, with Bartel joining the list of Selwood particularly, and obviously Ablett at the end of last year. Still lots of experienced premiership players out there, and they all have to get involved at the moment. Chapman, look behind him maybe to give it to Steve Johnson. No, decides to bomb to the wing. It's how he said, greasy conditions, tough to take a mark, but Vardy did.
Vardy's doing the ruck work, Hutto. Otten's on the bench. They need to give him a bit of a spell.
Nowhere to kick to here, Rob, but he's kicked pretty blindly to centre-half forward.
Just need a contest, bring it to ground.
Couldn't do that. And Gilbert. And the Saints have got plenty behind here. They can run and share and take it out wide to the wing to Gamble.
Well, the Saints have worried Geelong when they've moved the ball on quickly with lots of handball.
They need the next one. Gamble goes long. A couple of Cats set themselves. Here's Dempster. Good tackle by Taylor. It's slightly in St Kilda's attacking half. There's Kelly. There's Otten's having a breather.
Now the Cats have got Ling playing across half forward to try to cover Fisher.
A couple of Saints collided there. Revolt was one of them. Dempster the other. They're both okay. McAvoy against Vardy. Down to the feet of Del Santo. Off to Jones. Pops one over the top to Dempster. Here's the build-up again from St Kilda. Little chip is good to Armitage. And that is a shocker. Bad turnover. And Geelong get it back. Scarlett has it in the back pocket.
And decides to go for Wodzinski. Peake read it really well through the air to get there and compete without giving it away. And he lays a great tackle on Lonigan. Could have been rewarded. The team might get it anyway. Peake playing the game of his life here for the Saints. Slicing kick to the top of the square. No go for Gamble. This is where Milne comes into his own, but not this time. Chapman having to work like he never has before on the last line of defence. Off to Stevie J, who has to just tread water for a moment. And he can maybe pass to Joel Corey, decides not to. Now that job in the end fell for Taylor, who could give to Varco. He too changes his mind. In amongst 3 or 4 Saints here. Somehow with Guile gets out and gets a teammate, and that's Mitch Duncan, refusing to panic the Cats. But the Saints certainly have the run of play at the moment along the line for Varco. They've threaded a few here. Deep kick. Ottens, and further it goes, and it's Menzel who played it really well in the wet. He just killed the ball in the ball flight and then was able to get it on the second grab.
Menzel's opponent was Sam Fisher. Sam Fisher expecting the ball to be kicked long to the goal square, and he will chance his eye, Fisher. Now, he gets heaps of the ball, but he also gives you a chance. And if you've got a smart player on him, and Menzel, if he kicks this, it'll be his 4th.
He's kicked some telling ones tonight, none more so than that. Geelong lead is back beyond 4 goals.
Playing his 14th AFL match, Daniel Menzel. His previous best was 3 goals in round 2 this season against the Dockers. He's now got a career best 4.
Otten's back on in the ruck, and you can see Vardy there going to full forward.
Jones gets another clearance. Hacked off the ground by Milburn. Now Graham will get there first. He's got Clark in support. Kicks to Armitage. He blew a golden opportunity a few minutes ago to set up a goal. Long ball, nice kick. It's a great spoil by Lonergan against Kajitsky. Nice pick up by Wojcinski. Johnson. Ottens back to Johnson. Now Hunt to Mackie. The Cats run it out of defence, and look at this spread. Taylor. Oh, Chapman's worked really hard. Takes it at half-forward. There's a Cat play down off the ball. Umpire was right there and called play on. Cats go into the pocket. Dawson couldn't quite hang on to the mark. He's over the ball. We'll have a bounce.
In the contest went to ground. Hey, James, leave the footy, mate. Thank you. Okay.
Ray's in control. Ball's in.
Yeah, and he's very polite, which I like.
Everything's okay in the world.
Just can't get the bounce up high enough.
Gwilt, Fisher, Varco. And it's okay for the Saints. Graham with the mark. No releasing kick for him just yet. Getting plenty of instructions from his teammates. And it's Revolt that provides the exit. Now Goddard storming out of defence, full of intent. Long for Gamble, has to mark it, has to use it well. Peake is going to blast his way deep for full forward if he can get it to him. He's worked his butt off. Well done, Gamble, to get it there. And that's nice play by the Saints. And Peake is playing some sort of match. He's had 22 disposals, and he's going to line up for his second here. Has to make this one.
Good play by both players. The run of Peake to get to where the mark was taking was extraordinary. Super fit player. He'd be in the top 10% on the ground for fitness. And the fact that Gamble was prepared to take on a player of the quality of Scarlett was really good to see.
Well, his last goal was a terrific one on the run. Time to think about this. Is he up to the task? Peake makes it count. And the Saints won't die. And still the Geelong coach looks suitably unimpressed.
You're right, Haji. He worked his backside off, didn't he, Peake, to get down there.
You can see Peake back of picture just streaming forward. And Harry's been blown up by Revolt. He couldn't get there.
Great reward for hard work from Brett Peake. He kicks his second goal for the quarter, and the Saints are hanging in there. Margin back to 19 as Nick Revolt takes a breather.
And that's a rare sight to see Revolt on the bench.
Here's Goddard, drilled into the ground by Ottens.
Goddard's had 22 disposals tonight, but 15 handballs in that 22, Rob. He's played okay, hasn't he? But hasn't had a massive impact on the game.
Here he is again. Another handball to Graham. Just gets it out wide. Duncan will get there first for Geelong. Graham holds things up. Wants the free kick. Oh, he might get one too. He does. So Jason Graham's got the ball. Geelong by 19. Long kick. Kazitsky's there. Knocked away by Lonigan. So throw in about 65 out from the Saints goal. Plenty of time left. That'll keep you warm.
Christmas in the middle of winter.
Johnson fed it out to Varco. Enright.
Speaking of winter quarters, the crowd tonight, only 39,000.
Yeah, disappointing. And that's a free kick for Hull, I'd say, to Stokes.
And 19,000 last night was one of the lowest Friday nights in the last decade, but it's just surprising with these two teams. It's a St Kilda home game tonight.
They would have banked on at least 50,
I would have thought so, yeah. Stokes sets it up. And it was pretty easy photo, wasn't it, for Fisher? So the Saints within striking distance, and they certainly will be if they can kick the next goal. Just being held at bay for the moment. Can they find their way through the Geelong defensive maze? McAvoy's a good marking target. Kazitsky came late. Milne hasn't been able to find the freedom he would have liked. 8 disposals, no goals tonight for Stephen Milne.
Kelly in picture there, again playing deep forward.
Third man up was Kazitsky, nicely tapped. Handball from Del Santo to Stephen, squares it up. Milne's there. Couldn't take the mark. He'll finish it off though. He's got it. No. Oh, that was a close call.
You would have backed him 8 times out of 10 then, wouldn't you?
Just missed. Had a let off there for the Cats. They lead by 3 straight kicks.
Well, again, they're 3 leading goal kickers for the season. Haven't got a goal between them tonight. Talking about Milne and Rewalt and Schneider.
Andrew Mackie up for his 20th disposal. He's regained some pretty close to his best form over the last 6 weeks or so. The Geelong defence not in any real hurry. The onus is on St Kilda to kick probably 3 goals and a couple of points to win the game. Over to Stokes and then out to Enright. Can go along the line to Taylor Hunt or shorter. Or to Steve Johnson. And now Mackie.
Rewalt back on.
Taylor Hunt, he closes Rewalt, put the pressure on Hunt. They weren't perfect there, Geelong, but they were able to maintain possession. Lots of St Kilda numbers back around the 50. Goddard marshalling the troops back there. There's Gwilt watching Podsy Adley. Pretty low percentage kick and a bit of hanging on to Gilbert's arm. A bit of a chop. So St Kilda maybe can spring something off half back here.
Talk about chops. Zach Dawson and Vardy, they've given each other about 6 rabbit killers while this is all going on.
Rabbit killers.
Chops to the back of the neck.
Okay. Good hands by Chapman, who's having a great last quarter. Off to Enright, to Corey. Trying to ice the game here. The Cats kicks in the Vardy direction.
Wasn't it a good kick? It was just a super kick to the advantage side of the big kid. He didn't have to do much more than move into the right spot, and the Joel Corey kick. Have a look at it.
And speaking of killers, if Vardy can nail this goal, just about kills off the Saints' chances tonight. Geelong leads by 18 points.
Tom Hawkins, how do you think he'll go getting back into this team with Vardy, Hutto? You watch the Cats very closely.
No, it's going to be tough for him, but I guess the kid's young, so you never know what they'll do come finals time.
Vardy for his second beautiful looking kick.
Was that politically correct enough for you, wasn't?
Just don't get any splinters, Hutto, whatever you do.
I'm not sure I'll be consulted on selection matters, Rob.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He's not doing a lot wrong, though, is he, at the moment?
Well, he's only played, what, half a dozen games at senior AFL level.
5,
so
yeah.
the
Cats again answer the challenge. Nathan Vardy with a nice goal. Look at Schneider here, keen to get on the ground, gave the interchange man a bit of a shove. So Podsy's been knocking out his teammates. Now Schneider's into the interchange staff.
And Nick Riewoldt gone to full forward for the Saints.
Tumbling one. Stokes couldn't handle it in the end. Still, they put the pressure on the Saints. Need to respond straight away. Milne, how about that for a little assist to try and get it through to Stephen? He's looking for the free. He might give one up if he's not careful. The umpire lets it roll, and we'll have a ball up. Clint Jones has had 10 clearances tonight. And so has Nick Del Santo, so they have done a power of work. They've been able to generate a lot of footy for St Kilda, but they just haven't been able to make the most of it. Tackle count 64 to 44 in favour of St Kilda, and the clearances 37 to 31. They've won the contested possessions as well, but unfortunately for the Saints, they're 4 goals behind where it really counts on the scoreboard.
And inside 50 is pretty even. The Cats 49, the Saints 42. Geelong lead by 24 points. All work to the wing. Podsiadly couldn't trap it. Ling could. Handballs into space. Varco. Back to Ling, back to Varco. Now drills it long. Looking for Podsiadly. Good stuff from Dawson. There's Graham, fed it out to Stephen. McAvoy, Baker, Clark. Back to Gwilt, but they need to be going the other way, the Saints. Now out wide to Gamble, who's made a good fist of it tonight against his old team. Gamble kicks, finds Fisher, takes his 11th mark for the night.
Fisher, whilst he's on the half-back flank, he is playing in the forward line for St Kilda at the moment. And I think that's a good move by Ross Lyon. Get someone up there who can take a mark.
Graham long. Riewoldt got to beat a couple, just gets shepherded out of it by Enright. He says, what about my free kick? Umpire says, play on.
It was none too subtle, was it, either? But the umpire deemed that it was OK. More short stuff from Geelong.
Nick
Cameron
Riewoldt.
Lean got a call from Wojcinski. Sorry, Wolsey.
Yeah, Nick Riewoldt just the 7 disposals, and in his last 3 seasons, that's happened only once before.
That was pretty clean from the Cats. It won't be an easy shot for Menzel, but that won't be a real issue for them. There's Tom Hawkins.
And look, he's a terrific hit, and he's had some good success.
And he's going with this Geelong method, facing away from the goals. And he's just got the goal umpire on his feet there.
But he's going to have to work really hard to get back into this team now in front of Vardy, Nathan Vardy, no doubt about that.
Well, Brendan Goddard. Oh, it's out on the full. So free kick going to the Cats. It's going to be taken by Kelly. So 50 metres out from goal. Decides to have a dip. It's going to fall a bit short into the goal square. Huge pack fly for the ball. There's Menzel again, kept it alive. Well played. Snap it goal by Duncan. Across the face for a point.
So into the last 5 minutes, just about. Del Santo to himself. Margin at 26 now. He did that pretty well on his own. In the middle of the ground, Riewoldt. Over the top, though, it's Taylor Hunt bursting to his feet again. They line up across half forward. Wojcinski decides to keep it moving, and Duncan gets another crack at it, and he's done exactly the same thing as he did last time. What's he complaining about? Margin 27.
So Gwilt. 5 minutes to go. Schneider pushed his opponent out of the way and ends up with a football. Kicks to Milne. He's had a very quiet night. He's got Jones on, if you can see him. He has a couple of bounces, and he should kick to Jones, and he does. And speaking of guys that have had really good nights, Cliff Jones has busted his boiler tonight. 28 disposals, 9 tackles, 10 clearances. You can't ask for much more than that, Rob.
No, he's been
14
great.
Contested possessions.
Yeah, he deserves a goal, no doubt about that. He did a very good job on James Kelly early in the match.
And he puts it through. Talk us through the Cats' next 4, Anthony.
Well, Rob, how do you think they'll go against Adelaide, Essendon, West Coast and Brisbane?
Well, they're a chance to win the lot, aren't they? And if they do, they'll be 16 in a row. That'll make you happy as a Cat supporter, Hutto.
They mightn't lose a game this year,
Oh, gee, let's have a look at that.
It's going to be a report, is it?
Jack Stevens slugging to the ground.
No report.
Well, that could come later, of course. Let's see, did the ball...
I don't think you could. I don't think you should be suspended for that. It's a tackle.
He had the ball in his arms.
He's got the ball.
Yep.
You wrap him up. The momentum. You're swinging around. Your opponent is.
You have gone soft, Rob. Menzel gets it to Hunt. Through Goddard's legs, just about there, and out the other side for Ling, for Podsiadly. He waits for the traffic.
Look at Wojcinski's sprint.
Yeah, he's breaking for it. He's going to get an opportunity here. Gilbert, though, went with him all the way, and Gilbert, superior in the air, takes the mark and gets 50. Slapping the ball out of his hands.
It's going to be an interesting match review panel on Monday. All the journos wait with bated breath about 5 o'clock at night for the email to come through. A couple of big ones that will be looked at regarding Cats tackles tonight. I agree with you, Rob, though. Both of them in the stream of play. But we are not on the match review panel.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Quarters, but it will be interesting to see what they come up with. I'm still staggered that Selwood got 3, which turned into 4.
Podsiadly with the mark. Cats going to register their 12th straight win of the season. Remarkable achievement. Jidski wanted the free kick. Let's have a look at the Saints next month. They have the bye, then the Kangaroos, Port Adelaide and the Eagles in Melbourne. So 3 winnable games for the Saints, but they'll be behind the 8 ball now with 4 wins and a draw so far this year.
Great ball control. Steve Johnson in the thick of it again. Corey gives to Chapman. It's all there for him. And he very rarely fails to deliver, Paul Chapman.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? No Bartel, no Selwood. Kelly's had his injury problems. We said who would step up at quarter time. Well, that's who stepped up. The veterans, Corey, Chapman and Ling. They've been magnificent.
Here he is again, Joel Corey. Handball to Stokes. In game number 100, he's played well. Out wide to Menzel, who's got 4 goals next to his name. Goes long down the line, looking for Podsiadly. Takes a good mark. Improves the angle, drills it long. Looking for Milburn. Here's Ottens. Might kick it himself in the air, and Ottens does! Well, they put them to the sword in the end, as good teams do, and the margin's blown out to 33 points.
How are they different to last year in your mind, Rob, Geelong?
Well, they handball on average 50 less per game, Hutto. They under Bomber Thompson the last couple of years, they were averaging over 200 handballs a game. It's now around the 150. There's more long kicking into their forward line. And he's mixed it up a little bit too. We're seeing, you know, Bartel play wing, going into defence, going forward. Stevie J playing more in the midfield than ever before. Chapman the same. I guess with Ablett going, that was always going to happen. But, you know, youngsters are being given opportunity, but they're certainly kicking longer and handballing less.
Fisher bombs it long. Nice work from Armitage. And he takes the mark. Can't be long to go now. And he's going to have a shot here to cut the margin back to 27.
They played a mature side tonight, Rob, the Saints. Do they now bite the bullet, given the fact their finals campaign is all but over? Do they now play all the young kids they've got on the list?
We saw their next 4 weeks. They've got a bye next week, the Saints, and then 3, I reckon, very winnable games. Go for broke to try to win those, because you just never know.
And he's done the job required. It's a goal. And margin back to 27.
But if they were to drop 1 or 2 of those 3 winnable games, I think you'd probably say, well, we've blooded. They have blooded 8 or 9 players this year, St Kilda. So that's really good. But then you'd say, well, let's give those young boys the last 7, 8 games of the year.
3 goals is a career high for David Armitage. Kicked a couple early. End of the night with 17 disposals. This is Ross Lyon getting ready in the rooms for his troops when they come in.
Hey, this is interesting, isn't it? Did we see Blighty walk off the ground once?
He did at Amy Stadium once.
And now this is live.
What would he be doing, Rob?
Well, I thought he might have waited until the game was over to see the whole lot, but he's obviously made up his mind what needs to be done and said, and he's getting himself organised to do it. Most unusual.
Not quite the Blighty walk-off. He just walked around the boundary. Great stuff. Here's Taylor Hunt off to Menzel. Oh, he's fallen over his own feet. And then he got one a bit higher, so he's going to get the free kick in the end. He might have popped the shoulder too. Daniel Menzel can pick 17 back in 2009. Kicks to the contest. Podsiadly! And there's the siren. And the J-Pod can put some icing on the cake and kick his 3rd for the night. Either way, the Cats are going to continue their unbelievable winning streak in 2011.
Will he hook it round the body or do the conventional drop punt? You never know what Pod and Stevie J are going to do.
Podsiadly for his 3rd. He's booted 25 for the season so far. Oh, he's missed, but it doesn't matter. The Cats have won 28 points to final margin.
Down here with the 10-pin bowling champion and new Cat star Nathan Vardy, mate. This team's been challenged yours a few times this year, and every time you've had the answers, tonight was another very professional win.
Yeah, I think we've all got a lot of confidence in that we can run out the game. We had a pretty good pre-season, so yeah, I think three-quarter time everyone's pretty confident we could run it out and sort of run over the top of them in the end.
Tough team to break into. You're now in this side. You kicked a couple of goals up forward. You seem to have really found your spot.
Yeah, no, it was pretty hard to get in, and hopefully I can keep my spot. But yeah, just happy to be playing with the boys at the moment, and let's go see what happens.
You made big story in the paper today that you're the 10-pin bowling champion. True story that you got 300 or not?
No, we rigged it up that we got the guys at the Bowlerama to do the first 11 strikes, and then I just had to bowl the last one, and so we got the video and sort of celebration and the pictures and sort of joke amongst the boys, but yeah, sort of went out a bit out of proportion a little bit.
It did, mate. You got everyone well played tonight. Congratulations on the win.
So he's come clean on that little hoax, but this is really interesting, Rob. Ross Lyon went down in the last few minutes of the game, and he's still working really hard on that whiteboard.
Well, he gave up on the game, and he's obviously got things in his mind that he wants to get across to his team. They were pretty good in the first half and in that third quarter, and then they fell right away in the end to get beaten by the 28 points. But I thought the effort was good by St Kilda. Their forward line didn't function at all, and you got no goals out of their main goal kickers, so that always hurts. And I think they've got to have a rethink about how they use Nick Riewoldt. Opposition teams just get back and cover him week in, week out, and it was good to see him given a run on the wing at the start of that last term.
So another win for the Cats, 12 straight in season 2011, knocking off the Saints by 28 points.